Alright, I'm going to start speaking now. As you can see, this is going to give you the wireframe of the map to give you how many, say, pixels or little geometry squares you have, or triangles, however you want to take it. Some of these meshes that I will be using will have a insane amount of them for the higher graphics amount. You see, for something compared with this, if I go back to the lit scene, let me change my tool to my selection. You can see the graphics within these are really nice, right? You can really get to view some of it with a higher detail. I plan to use these within resource nodes, between mountain passes, and a few other things. Right now I am learning on the geometry of the map and trying to get that set up nicely. Once I have everything set up within the map, it will be redone, cities and all that. Procedural generation is planned. I have a few things I still need to learn about this system, as it is my very first project I've ever worked on. But I plan to set it up with decent graphics, to put it, with decent mesh points and things like that. Um, from some of them may not have as many nodes, but they still can turn out really nicely. Here's it unlit without the light. You can see it changes a bit without its normal lighting. Then once you get your shaders and all that in and your lighting, it changes really nice. That goes with all of them, from these. And using nanite for its graphics will also really help with the hitbox and all that with the terrain walking. With all those squares, I can probably get the nodes really nice on top of each other and get that node set up where it becomes a nice hitbox. From the trees, you can see this being a very nice mesh. That's why I plan to use nanite. It also helps with the future aspects of the game, with processing and numerous other aspects. Um, the development, this is going to take a while. For free time I have for the project, I hope to gain more in the future. But with some of these meshes, I hope it will help with the processing of a higher, how do I put it, a higher graphical game. I've did some research in it. If I can change the lighting, some meshes can look a little awkward in certain lightings. None of these right now are. Some of the ones I've pulled in kinda did. And as I said right now, the game is at a good 57 gigabytes for all the assets I have brought into it at the moment. I'm also looking at mega scans or metahumans too, to bring into and start editing some of these to have NPCs and to give modules for the player customization for their hero or villain or whatever you want to be. Then mix these up into there. Uh, I also have a few blueprints that I've worked on for the animation that I've put in. Some of these also have these plugins. I could add VR support, though that can take more time to implement. As you know, VR does have a few more things that you have to worry about. There is your animations though, like these. This one is from the base game. I do not have anything like this, but this is when the first person with the guns are. That's from the first person gun animations. Where is it? Okay, there is my stuff. This is my locomotion system I've set up. If I can open it for you to view. it go somewhere else? There it is. Okay, that's where it is. Where did it go? Ah, that's what happened. Okay, this is the animations I set up. As you can tell, it does take a little processing to get through, but I'm trying to set it up for efficiency. Uh, the basis behind it is C++, which I have a decent knowledge on. I'm also already going through a thing for it. I have the unarmed, crouch, locomotion, land, to land, jumping, and ooh, you've already seen that within here when I go to play. I plan to add a climbing feature similar to maybe uh, one will be easier to do than the other, to be honest. I can do it similar to, say, Breath of the Wild or Power World or whatever reference you want to take, where you just climb up the side of a surface with stamina instants, or something to Assassin's Creed wise, where there has to be climbing points, or more the newer ones like Origins or Odyssey, where if it's available to climb and it doesn't take any stamina. There's a mix between those that I have, but as you can see right now, it is quite decently sized map, a few kilometers. I do plan to make it far bigger than it is right now. I'd rather get the main area set up, have a playtesting area, test the destruction buildings, then I will start expanding. Right now you see there's no climbing for that and you just slide down. There will be animations for those too. I plan to try to implement. I plan to try to buy a locomotion suit so I can generate my own. Once I have enough funds, I plan to make a studio, for instance, so it can so I can have better equipment in a bigger area to make said like animations, so I don't have to sit down at a computer and have to spend so much time processing said animation. To see, one thing that bothers me right now, I'm trying to set up is how the feet just float. I plan to try to remove something like that where they like sense the ground and like something to deal with that. As you can see, I have to go through my programming for that because that stop animation kind of is iffy. Because as you see, the model stops and just then does it. But I wanted to give an update of how everything's looking at the moment. Right now, I'm figuring through the meshes and graphics, but right now it's decently sized. This is going to be the main area where I'm going to do a lot of the testing, then spiral out from it. Once I get some of the more major systems down, from the health system to leveling, there's going to be a lot of traction at that point for stuff. See, this one I believe is because the low distance, as you can see the blur. I also want to work on that because, as you known earlier, it wasn't like that. It was actually a nice little graphic. Let me see if I can fix that. But with nanite visualization, I don't think you can see that anywhere right now. But yes, daylight night cycle. I'm still figuring out what's the good timing for that. Like, what's a good little sequence? Like, should I may put that as a settings for the players, where they can select their time bases. So you want time to pass faster, so the markets can refresh faster, but that could have its own side consequences within that. Now, these load off based off how far the player is near it, as you can see the re-reference. That's how that works, but once I get out of the player, it kind of blurs up on me. Alrighty, this is the update report. Uh, as you can see, I've found a few more meshes. I'm still looking through and downloading them. I don't have the best of internet, but at some point I will try to fix that where I can throw more in. But that should be it. Thank you for watching the update I have right now.